Welcome to Meal Spouse Conversations, home of the tea, home of us talking backstage and didn't even realize.
Whoops.
Hey, I call that practicing a little self-care. Because, having conversations with friends is self-care. I don't know. Like, how do y'all feel about that?
I agree.
Self-care.
Like a little midday, little break through the crazy of the day.
Yes. Look, chatting with friends, having a little snack. What y'all eating on today, ladies?
I have like girl lunch.
I had grapes, but they're gone now.
Seedless?
Seedless. Yeah, I don't like having to spit out seeds in the middle of chewing something. Just not my thing.
You like greener, black?
I like green. I feel like they're like nice and juicy and crispy.
Or red, actually.
Yeah.
I hear the phone ringing.
I like all of them. It just doesn't matter.
You hear the phone ringing?
Mm-mm.
It just stopped. So I'm at my in-laws' house and it's supposed to be quiet, but nobody's being quiet. Everyone is doing their own thing. I'm like, y'all, I got a show to do.
It's an active house.
It is. It is. So, people, today we are going excuse me. We're going to talk. What is wrong with my voice? It's this Mississippi air. It's got me all messed up. But today, y'all, let's focus. We are going to talk about excuses people make for not practicing self-care. Because, people always say, I'm too busy. Y'all, anytime I hear the words, I'm too busy for self-care, whatever you say to me after that is womp, 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 womp. What's up with that? Conversation starters. Do you ever feel that you're too busy to take a little time for yourself?
I don't know that I feel too busy, but I know I feel like too tired. But then that's also when I know I need self-care.
I mean, there's definitely times where I'm like, I want to say, oh, I'm too busy to do that particular activity. Like if someone's like, oh, you should do this. I'm kind of too busy for that. But I don't really mean that, I guess. I think people in general say that. Like if it's something they don't want to do, I'm too busy, But I mean, I don't know. It's a balance.
You're too busy is just a way to get out of joining your friends for lunch. Is that what you're saying?
No, I guess I mean more like I think we all have things we want to do for self-care. And they're not all going to be the same. So if I'm talking to you and you're like, oh, let's go running, Julie, I'm going to be like, I'm too busy because I don't want to run. I don't want to spend my self-care time running. Sorry.
Well, Julie, first of all, if I ever say let's run, oh, girl, you need to run. Okay, there's a reason.
There's a reason.
There's a purpose for it. Just saying. But hey, before we continue, let's pause and give a special shout out and thanks to our sponsor, USAA. Did you know that USAA has an entire military spouse hub for you? Yeah, if you didn't know that, check it out at www.usaa.com/military spouse. Loads of resources to help you navigate not only military life, but life. Okay? Just saying. So, Julie, and Grace, for both of you, what is self-care? What does that mean to you?
I think it means doing something for myself But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm doing it without anybody around. It just means because I mean, sometimes I'll be in my room and just relaxing, and that's my time for like self care and stuff. But there's other people in the house that might bug me. But I think more importantly, it's not feeling guilty for taking that time too. Like that's a part of it as well. Because I think I think moms, we can easily feel that guilt. Like, oh, we shouldn't be spending this time relaxing. We shouldn't be spending time on ourselves. We should be doing something for the house, for the kids, for whatever. And I think the reality is like the amount of stuff that needs to be done on a daily basis is never ending. So you're never going to get to the end of that to do list. You just aren't. So you can't just be like, oh, I can't do this until everything is done because you will never get there. So we have to take those breaks and that time to refresh. And
what are some things that you do for self-care, Julie?
I like to read. I like to go for walks. I like to watch TV in my room without anybody around. I like to go to the movies by myself, although I haven't been doing a lot of that lately. But I find that really refreshing for some reason. It's a different experience than going with somebody else. I don't know. I used to when I had, well, here I am going with like when I had the time, but when my schedule was a little bit different and I could do this, I really liked going on like Fridays at like noon because like nobody was there and it was just like the end of the week and just a time to kind of like, it was truly my time, you know, like I could pick whatever movie I wanted and, you know, bring my blanket and then sometimes
Pouring on the floor.
stick my Kindle in my purse. Like if I get there early, like I don't know, it's just a whole vibe that was very relaxing. So I try to do that. I just can't do it on Fridays anymore.
So for any of our viewers watching this live, or even if you're watching the replay, tell us what self-care means to you and how you practice self-care. Grace, I want you to tell us.
Yeah, so self-care to me is like an action or time that I take to better my mental or physical health. And that comes in different ways and forms depending on how busy I am or just kind of like what's going on or how I'm feeling. So there's times where like I just want to watch TV like Julie and like don't come in my room, just leave me alone. Sometimes I'm reading, sometimes I want to like go to a bookstore without children being like, can we go to the kids' place? Can we go to the kids' part? You know, a lot of it is just like not being asked of something is good self-care because I feel like I can actually take care of myself and do what I want to do without having to stop and do 10 other things before for someone else. And I like to like I try to cook as much as I can at home. But I get frustrated and mad because in the middle of it, I have to, like, wipe a butt or go, I don't know, clean a mess or find something for my husband, and I'm just like, "Really? I'm just trying to cook dinner that everyone's gonna eat." So, sometimes I like people just to leave the house so I can cook in peace, like, go to the park, go do something, and I'll tell you when dinner's ready. So, cooking and baking alone is even self-care for myself because I also feel like Julie was touching on mom guilt. I feel like I'm still providing by doing the meals, but I'm doing it in a peaceful, relaxing setting. So it feels like self-care at the same time. Yeah.
I like that. And I feel you on the meals. Although everyone in my house is, well, I guess we still have one minor. Actually, we still have two minors because even the one that we just dropped off at college is not yet 18. Um, and then we have our 15-year-old and my husband. They always have questions when I'm cooking. And then they're like, "You don't cook." Well, no, I don't cook because y'all always coming in here bothering me.
Yeah, it's a different type of cooking when you get to cook without interruptions and then cooking with interruptions.
Yes. So when I think of self-care, I look at it as taking care of my mind, body, and my soul. And that's runs the entire gamut from making sure that I'm physically feeling good about myself, emotionally feeling good about myself. And I personally, for my self care, just I feel much better when I have the time to talk with people. I do like my alone time. I do my me time every day, which is a minimum of 15 minutes. Don't talk to me, don't look at me. And I have a mug that says it's me time. And when I have that mug, don't talk to me. And I started that when my girls were little bitties. Oh, our Buy Me a Coffee supporter, Pamela Roddy, said, taking care of myself and watching Lifetime. Yeah, Lifetime Movie Network. But let me tell you something. That Lifetime Movie Network has traumatized me over the years. Anyone else? I love Lifetime Movie Network. But anyone else be like, ooh, like any little sound, or you're like,
The sounds. That's funny. I like Lifetime too. But yeah, the sounds.
but, and then taking care of my soul. Self care is also knowing when you have to push people to a distance. And that can change throughout your life. It really, really does. Things that you could accommodate, or personalities, or even activities that you could do, or how much time you could pour into other people, you may not be able to do that as you get older. And that's fine. You're not being selfish when you tell folks no. You're not being selfish when you're like, I've got to protect my mind and my soul, right? Like, if you're going to bring a bunch of negative energy into my space, hey, I got to push you away. That doesn't mean that you are never going to be welcomed into my circle again, but right now I can't deal with you. I got to figure out me. Then we can be friends. But why do you think people say they don't have time for self-care? Like, let's really, really, I know Julie said because they don't want to do it, but let's really dig into this. And I'm going to start with moms. We're going to pick on moms with little people.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. And I'm saying this from experience.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when I meet new parents, they're like, oh, well, I don't have time to watch Spouse Conversations. Yeah, I'm gonna just say, I don't have time to watch the show. I don't have time to go for a walk. I don't have time to make that doctor's appointment. I don't have time to take that bath because my kids need me. Let me tell you something. I don't care if your kid is 2 weeks old, 12 weeks old, 2 years old. As your kids get older, the time that they need from you is not going to change. It just looks a little different. They actually need you a little more. So if you can't find the time when they're little, how are you going to find the time when they're older? Practicing self care becomes a habit. So if you don't put it into play now, you're not going to do it when they're grown and out of your house either. Thoughts?
I agree.
So
I
look, I
think
have so much to say on that. I'm trying not to get too.
No, I agree. I think one, I think it's an all or nothing type attitude. Like it has to be a full 15 minutes or it wasn't worth it. It has to be a full big thing or it wasn't worth it. So I think a lot of people have an all or nothing attitude when it comes to self-care. And I also think that society has put on this like luxurious title with self-care, and it has to be this big long spa day and you have to get a sitter and you have to do all these things. And it can be so minimal, and like you said, like create the habit, find the time. And I used to have that all or nothing attitude, like, oh, they won't leave me alone. Oh, they're gonna whatever. But like when I need an everything shower, like scrubbing, peeling, the whole shaving, everything, I put them in the bathtub. And so they're in the bathtub. We have a bathtub and a shower that's not like, you know what I mean, separate. And so I stick them in the bathtub with toys and bubble bath and let them play and splash whatever while I take a shower. And like, you can't get out till I get out. Like, that's just what it is. When I'm ready, you're ready, you know? And so it's just finding those little times and ways that you can take care of yourself while occupying them. And I think people are afraid to like put on a show for their kids because they hear, oh, TV's bad for your kid. So then there's just all these like, I think social media and all this stuff kind of really puts all this harm in moms' heads of like, you can't do this with your kid or don't let them do that. You always have to entertain them. And in reality, like, just let them be and go take care of yourself. Like, they're going to be fine. They know you're still in the house, you know. Don't just leave them there while you leave, but, you know, stick around and they'll be okay.
Right. Don't leave them alone.
Yeah.
I think it's that. I think the mom guilt is part of the reason that people are saying that. Because it's like, oh, like, I'm supposed to just, like, do something for myself. Like, yeah, you are. Like, it's okay. And like Grace was saying with the bathtub, like, it's not going to be always, you know, going off on a spa trip for 3 days. You know, you like when your kids are that young, like, you really just have to find creative ways to do it. Like, for me, I mean, I had a newborn or like a baby and like a 2-year-old, and my husband was deployed and I was in Germany and we were on the 3rd floor of this apartment. It was as crazy as you could get, pretty much. And my self-care was I put the kids to bed and I'd take a bubble bath. And that was like just the best feeling. Like, end of the day, you know, there's the baby now, like all grown up. But anyway, like, you just have to find the ways. Or it was like taking advantage of like Super Saturdays. Or one of the things I used to do is I put them in my double stroller and I'd go for a long walk and bring snacks, bring change of clothes, diapers, whatever you need. And you know, they're happy. If they can be happy in the stroller, then I can just go where I need to go. I got my old school iPod on because it was a long time ago, and go walking with them. And I think that was a huge part of my self-care too, because I could do it with them, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't the same thing as having to like do a bunch of stuff for them. I mean, I was aware of their needs at the time, but you know, it was just a good balance to get that time in, and I could explore different areas and do stuff like that, which was cool. So
yeah, I think that's the perfect way to say it, is like with them, not for them.
Yes,
the biggest thing.
Like you always, you're always going to make sure your kids are safe and they're not in any danger and they have what they need. But just get creative and you can find ways to do it. So.
Yeah. Yep. Get them used to doing those things with you, and they understand like, this is for mom, like she does this, but we get to go too, you know. Those are those type of things. Like my girls like to go to, they call it the pet place, it's PetSmart. And it's like their favorite thing to do when it's hot outside, because they could just see animals but be inside. And so I'm like, okay, we'll go, but then mommy wants to go to Ross next door and you're gonna behave while I'm looking there. Or, you know, just make it that deal. Do a little something for them and then do something for you. And they understand those boundaries growing up, you know.
Yes. And they're also learning at an early age how to practice self-care themselves as well. We're going to do a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. And we're back. Grace, do you have your
yes.
Oh, yes. You do? Would you like intro?
No, it's okay. All right. So there ain't no way. Since we're doing self-care, I'm one that like doesn't like to spend a lot of money on self-care stuff, because mom guilt. I'd rather buy my kids some clothes. But these are something that I do, and it's so minimal, but it like wakes me up in the morning and I feel better about myself. And then I don't want to put any makeup on because I'm like, oh, I already did this. But it's by Ulta. It's Ulta Beauty, and they're healthy hydration under eye patches. And a pack of this is like, I don't know, $5. It comes with 15 pairs, and it comes in a little thing like this. And I'll open this one so I can show you guys. I'm sure you've seen under eye patches. They're not any fancy or anything. But you open up your pack, and it's these, and some under your eyes. And I just wear these while I'm like brushing my teeth, brushing my kids' teeth, whatever, doing my hair, whatever I'm doing in the morning, cooking breakfast. I just leave them on, and then when I'm ready, I take them off. And it's hydrating. It has collagen in it. It just makes me feel better about myself. And all I have to do is just put it on and leave it there. So it's a little self-care that you can multitask with. So you can get you some. They have them at Target. They have them at Ulta. Super cheap. They always have sales on them too. So get you some.
Nice.
Nice.
I have a gift card to Ulta for ripping hole in my.
Nice. There you go. Get you some. It comes with 15 pairs. Use them
Are
whenever.
you going to get you some, Julie?
I think I might. Actually. Cool.
Now, I hear people say this a lot about self-care too. I'll have all the rest I need when I die. And I'm like, okay, true, but you're also not going to be enjoying life because you're dead. And you're also not you're no longer going to be there to help your loved ones or be around for your loved ones. AKA been no good for your loved ones unless you left them a nice, huge insurance policy. Bad joke. That was a bad joke, right? Bad joke. Sorry. But I tell people all the time, I do not pour from my cup, right? People talk about you can't pour from an empty cup. I'm not pouring from my cup at all. I'm not pouring into you, Grace, or into you, Julie, or to any of our viewers. I'm not pouring from my cup. My cup is for me. Every drop. You receive the overflow. And in order for me to keep a steady overflow to pour into everyone else, sorry. In order to keep a steady overflow to pour into everyone, I have to practice self-care every day for myself. Now, I will admit to y'all, over the last 3 years, I had to readjust my self-care of how I practice self-care because how I was keeping my cup full before wasn't working anymore. It took me actually these two ladies had to listen to me quite often. But it took me about 2.5 years to figure it out. But I think I have figured it out for the most part. And I am now able to continue the overflow. And we're going to have our next event the end of this month. I don't know the dates because I'm using my calendar to to prop up my laptop, but we are going to have an event where I am going to dig deep into not pouring from your cup, but pouring from your overflow and giving you some good practical tips and advice on how to do that. There will be a registration link coming soon, and it will be $5. $5 for you to sign up and come behind the scenes and get all of that good tea. But ladies, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Y'all know why I'm distracted from here. Take over.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the questions are.
All right.
Y'all just talk. Okay. Excuses of why people make.
Well, I mean, I think, there is the fact that different people require different things in life, and maybe for some, like Grace was bringing up, cooking for her. Cooking for me is not really self-care at all. Like, I wouldn't look at that as self-care, and other people wouldn't look at reading a book as self-care. So I think sometimes somebody maybe could just be living their life and doing all these things that I don't personally think is self-care, but for them it does the same thing that what I do for me does for me. So maybe when it like an excuse isn't exactly an excuse, it's just a different way of living. They're still getting the self-care, they're not labeling it that, kind of thing. I don't know.
True.
Yeah, that's so true. A lot of people don't even realize they are doing self-care. It's
Yeah.
things that they enjoy,
Yeah.
just because self-care is labeled as, like, certain things nowadays,
Right.
but
Like,
it could be
no,
anything.
I don't like to take baths. I don't do
Yeah.
self-care. But that's not
Yeah, it doesn't have to just
Julie,
be
we need you to take a bath or a
oh,
shower. We need you to put soap and water.
different types of baths. Different type of
yeah.
bath.
Yeah. So and then I'd say like, if you are feeling that you really don't have time for self-care, like just really try to figure out how you can add that in or maybe expand on something you're already doing and get creative.
Yeah. Do things that make you happy. That's the other thing about self-care. Like things that bring you joy.
Yes.
Like there should be at least one thing that you do every day that puts a smile on your face. It's not seriously like what
Yeah.
fuels you.
And
And I
don't
think
stop feeling guilty.
yeah, don't feel guilty and, like, try new things because you might not know what you love if you haven't
Right.
tried it.
Right.
Um,
Look
and
for
that could be your self-care.
And if you do have little kids, look for opportunities for like it's summer, there's VBS, for
Mhm,
little kids, and those are free usually and welcoming to anyone who wants to bring
mhm.
their kids. And that might just give you 3 hours every morning for a week, something
Yep.
little like that. It's not, there's all these things in the community, and you just need to look for them sometimes.
They're right there. Most of the things are right there. You just have to step out
Mhm.
and say, okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to accept it. And one of those things is meal spouse conversations. I'm just saying, because we have monthly virtual events and in-person events around the globe. We just had one in Bahrain. And it was funny. I'm going to tell you, this was funny because the spouses who attended one, they were like, we didn't know anything about meal spouse conversations. I'm like, noted, got it, but now you do. And they were all, the other thing, they were like, this is so welcoming. Like, you are so welcoming. I'm like, yeah. We're about you feeling comfortable. And everyone got in on the conversation. We talked, and of course we danced.
You danced.
No.
And I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I
I'm
danced
just kidding.
a little bit. They didn't want to at first. I was like, get your butt up. And I did play my theme song.
Oh.
Not the wobble, Grace. Not the wobble, but my other theme song.
I was gonna say in group settings, that's your theme song.
I played that for the senior class event because I had to keep it clean. My other song wasn't so clean. Just saying. But no, self-care is important. And as Grace said, it doesn't have to be luxurious. And that is something that society has put on it. Social media especially, right? Like you have to show
be totally free.
Totally free. It could be taking a nap.
Right.
If you need a nap, take a nap. Self-care. Look, Grace, I'm going to tell you. So while we took our daughter, we was moving her in for her summer session, I just wanted to go to the mall to walk around. I wasn't buying nothing. Not a thing. It just felt great to walk around. Can I say this? Y'all know. And I found some little booty shorts. And in Bahrain, I'm not wearing booty shorts. I'm not wearing booty shorts at all. I'm too old for them. But I did put parent. I was like, had some laughs, and I felt much better after that. It was that simple. Sounds crazy, but. And after this episode, I'm going to have some self-care because of my combination of Pringles, these soft chews, and this coffee. I have no one to wipe my butt, Grace. I'm going to have to wipe it.
I was going to say, you'll be running somewhere soon.
Take a little self-care on the toilet. I'm going to message Julie while I'm there. Hey, Julie.
Oh, my.
Oh, what? There's an echo.
I'm like, hold on, let me flush. But, my self-care, too, is laughing. Like, coming on here every week and doing the tea with y'all, this is self-care for me. May sound crazy to some, but it is. Okay, we're done. Oh, sorry, I'm rude. I'm smacking. I do have Military Spouse News Minute for you, and that is to remember, if you have a college student, if you have a child who graduated high school and they're headed to college, you can update their TRICARE within 90 days of them moving, okay? You don't have to wait for open enrollment in January to do that. So, all you need is proof that your child is enrolled in a university. And this is important, especially if they are away from home. Because if they need medication, emergency, whatever, your doctor back at home isn't going to be able to prescribe them anything. So update their TRICARE. Really, that's any insurance. It's not even TRICARE. Any medical insurance. It is a life qualifying event. And you have 90 days from when they enroll. But I need to do that for mine. All right. Thank you, folks. We're going to be talking about self-care all month long, so you're not going to get away from this subject because y'all need to practice some self-care. Thank you for watching. I'm trying to find, y'all, this is hard because I don't have my second monitor. So I'm trying to maneuver. And I can't see the screen. Oh, Lord. Like, share, tell your friends. Y'all, help me.
See you next week.
What time next week?
12 o'clock Eastern.
10 Mountain. 10 a.m. Mountain.
Okay. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.